Hey, what is going on, crypto people? It is your boy, the Crypto Siege, with another day in the life, in the crazy life that is the digital asset space. What is going on, guys? My gosh, it's been a long time, huh? Yeah, so we headed on that cruise out to the Mediterranean for 12 days and came back home, and next thing you know, it wasn't just jet lag. I came back with jet lag and something else as well, because I was knocked out, laid up. Not good at all. So trying to recover from that. Finally good. And God, I tell you what, just waking up these last couple of days to all the crazy things that is going on in the digital asset space is unbelievable. I mean, where should I start? Tim Draper actually mentioning XRP. Congress, a dude from Congress actually mentioning XRP. I mean, what do you think about that? Do you guys think that's a coincidence? Yeah, I think not. I think there's a reason why Tim Draper was finally willing to say something about XRP. Right? I think it's, the writing's on the wall for sure. So what about that? What about DC FinTech this week? And Brad Garlinghouse actually being in town with Jay Clayton. He spoke after Jay Clayton, as a matter of fact, the chairman from the SEC. Not a coincidence as well. What do you think about that? And talking about DC, like, what is going on with Ripple, the company, opening an office in Washington, D.C., right down the street, if you will, from the policymakers. What do you think about that? You think that's just a coincidence? I think not. There's a reason behind that. Again, we've always said on this channel, the powers that be, when they start mentioning, and I'm talking about the president, the Donald himself, and the people from Congress, and Jay Clayton, and Steve Mnuchin, when they start mentioning Ripple, the company, and XRP, they want to have a laundry list of all the things that Ripple, the company, is doing that is great for everyone else. They want to talk about how compliant Ripple, the company, is. They want to be able to talk about how extraordinary the software that is ODL, on-demand liquidity, and how awesome it is. And so all of these moves by Ripple, the company, it falls right in line. It's a playbook, and they're rolling it out, and they're rolling it out. If you trust me when I tell you, there's a reason why every time you turn around now, Brad Garlinghouse himself is on CNBC, MSNBC, Fox Business News, Fox News, whatever it might be. He's become, if you will, the go-to guy for all things crypto. And there's a reason for that, right? Again, you want to have that public figure that everyone likes, that is willing to come on, get on the media and answer tough, quote-unquote, tough questions, who says he's in favor of the government and working with banks, right? Not anti-government and anti-banks, right? I'm telling you guys, it's just a rollout of a playbook, and it is, like I've always said, it is in fact genius in motion. And so I don't even know where to begin. I tell you what, got the swell thing coming up, and shout out to all the YouTubers that got that invite. I think it essentially was an invite from Ripple, right? So they reached out to some YouTubers and some content creators, and I did not get an invite, not that I can tell. And maybe it has something to do with my Twitter does not have a face on it. Maybe they like to have those people's Twitters with a face on it. But I don't do enough on Twitter, so perhaps that's a reason why. But I did not get an invite. But I am really excited about those who did. When I was on Brad Keim's show not too long ago, a couple weeks ago, I think it might have been, maybe 3 weeks ago, and I called in, I told him how, excited and proud I was. Proud of being part of the XRP community, because we are in fact a strong community, especially, right? We are a strong community, and not just the content creators. We're talking about all that participate, all providing value to the digital asset space and the XRP community, right? It's a strong community of high value. And think about that. Ripple reached out to these people, and I'm pretty sure they reached out. I don't know, because I know generally, you had to write in and ask for an invite, and most of the time, and they never invited any YouTubers or content creators, right? So, but I saw someone's invite. He put it on Twitter, and it was Ripple asking, for them to come out. I don't know if it was I Am Legion or if it was someone else. I'm not sure. I can't remember who it was, but they were saying that they weren't going to be able to go. I think it might have been Steven Diop, but he was saying that he wasn't going to be able to go. So it feels as though Ripple reached out to certain content creators and YouTubers and asked them to come out, and that's huge in a lot of ways. And we all know that we got a few people that are going. I believe the Digital Asset Investor is going. Crypto Eddie is going. Brad Garlinghouse is going with Dustin Planholt. So that's going to be huge. Who am I missing?
Brad Kimes.
Yeah. Brad Kimes is going with Dustin Planholt, and it was someone else. I don't think Jungle League and Alex Cobb. I think they got the invites, but I don't believe they're going. So, but in any case, we're going to be quite well represented, and so it's going to be huge. Excited about being a part of the Cryptonaires documentary. Brad asked about that when I was on the phone with him, and I said absolutely. So really excited about that. But my point to that whole rant is that I've always said this on this channel. The people from Ripple are paying attention to what the XR community brings. They're paying attention to that. It would be silly not to. It would be silly not to. Not that Brad Garlinghouse necessarily is hanging out on YouTube, but certainly he's got a certain amount of people that he's got, positioned to, check out what's going on social media. They're paying attention, and I think it's massive in a lot of ways. And so obviously there's going to be some huge. It feels like there's going to be some huge announcement, or some huge message that they want to get out, and they wanted to get out quickly. That's why they invited these YouTubers in. So yeah, absolutely excited for the people that I know that are going out to that. Absolutely excited for them, because it's going to be huge in a lot of ways. And history has said that there's always a little price increase, kind of right up until the swell event. So we can kind of expect that to happen. I heard the Awake guy, the guy who talks about the burst. He does his technical analysis on these burst things. I think his name is Awake on Twitter. He's expecting some big price moves in the next few days. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not a TA guy, I'm not a technical analyst guy. I'm a fundamental guy. Tell me what's going on. Tell me about the partnerships, right? Tell me about the moves that Ripple is making, and that's what I get excited about. And so, interesting thing to hear Brad say that MoneyGram is asking them to ramp up their corridors, asking Ripple to ramp up their corridors so that MoneyGram can go ahead and take their ODL platform and get into those markets, saying that Ripple company was not moving fast enough. That's an interesting thing. I've said this before on this channel, and I'll say it again. I believe wholeheartedly, that institutional money, big money, their proof of concept is what MoneyGram, the company, is doing with XRapid, ODL, and XRP. I believe that 1,000%, that they are watching, and they're waiting for the reports, the quarter 3 reports from MoneyGram, the quarter 4 reports from MoneyGram. They're waiting. Institutional money is waiting, because they understand that they get those reports. They get a company using a product and the advantages that come from using a product. They don't get they don't get Coil, right? They're not going to get what Securitize necessarily do, right? But they understand a Fortune whatever company using a product from a software company like Ripple and the advantages of net loss or profit. They understand that. So when they hear the numbers from the quarter 3 and quarter 4 points, to me, that is the institutional's monies. That's their proof of concept. Let me see what MoneyGram is doing with this. I can call up Alex, right? I'm an institutional investor. I'm big money. I don't know. I'm a big hedge fund. I can get on the phone and say who I am and get a hold of Alex Holmes. Say, tell me more about that, right? They get that. And so the fact that the ODL is ramping up is major. Bitso is doing its thing so much, in fact, that Coinbase, the company, and Ripple, the company, have invested in Bitso. That's huge in a lot of ways. And that's just the beginning. That is just the beginning, because more and more of these FIs and these small to medium enterprises, the more and more success they have with ODL, the word is going to get out. Just like Brad Garlinghouse says, he said, give an example like Santander, which is a Ripple partner. They may start out with 2 quarters, right? But when they open up another quarter, it's not. Again, I said this before. The value of the Ripple net is not. It doesn't. Its value is not in addition. This is not even, in my opinion, in multiplication. It's an exponential thing, right? Because once you're on that network, other people on the network have access to the things that you have access to, and you can begin to work together. So Santander opening up another quarter could be a massive volume in usage of XRP. So it exponentially increases. So the news it's just the fundamentals, if you will, just gets better and better and better. What? Opening up an office in Washington, D.C.? You best believe that we will be down there to check that spot out. And then they got this, I hope I'm saying his name right, but I believe it's Craig Phillips, is now part of Ripple, working with Ripple on the board of directors. And this dude helped put together the executive order that President Trump signed that mentioned Ripple, the company, talking about this new digital framework, financial digital framework, right? Executive Order 13772. And this dude is now. Why isn't this dude on some other board? Why is he? You ever think about that? Why is he not on the board at Cardano, the IOHK or the Cardano Foundation, right? Why is he not on the board from the people from EOS, right? Right? You got to think about that, right? They got boards, they got foundations. Why are all these people from these political government backgrounds going to the board at Ripple, moving to work with Ripple? You gotta just, guys, it's right there in front of us. And I forget the other person who's coming as well. But they're opening up opening up an office in Washington, D.C. Are you kidding me? And I was telling my girlfriend, I'm like, I hope that place is as nice as the place in San Francisco. Because that place in San Fran is nice. We'll take a trip just to go visit the office and just walk around, just to say that we went there. You know what I mean? But now they got one opening up in D.C. I'm sure it's going to be fly as hell. And so, man, I cannot wait for that. Dude, guys, what? I don't even know what else needs to be said. I know I'm buying some more XRP today. 26, 27 cents. Yep, definitely getting some more today. Got BTC just kind of hanging out. Made a bad move, bought some BTC, man. Bought some BTC about a month ago.
Not a bad move. Just alright.
Just gotta be patient. I had a chance to convert that. I was trying to. What I have been doing is, buy a little BTC, get a $200-$600 spike, take that $200-$600 spike, and buy some XRP. That's what I've been doing a couple of times. But this last time, I missed the spike, and then it went down. Then it went down again. So it's like $7,400 right now. So not doing anything yet with that, but I will. Absolutely will, for sure. But I mean, that's just crazy. I mean, what's going on right now? I mean, you know, I talked about David Schwartz and the whole stable coins on the XRP ledger. In the end, I still believe, and I said this on Brad Times live this morning, I believe that a price set is inevitable, in my opinion. Because the more they talk about stable coins, collateralized debt positions, loans, anything in that kind of space, and you're talking about these governments are going to be able to collateralize their gold, and you know these governments have all this gold, and they're going to be able to collateralize that. There's little question in my mind, little doubt at all in my mind that there's going to be a price set. Because imagine the governments, the banks especially, knowing that this price set is coming, and that now they've collateralized, you know, whether it be their XRP or their gold, whatever it might be, is going to have a certain value to it. 500 to 1,000, whatever it is. Remember, the world runs on debt, and big money is not going to come into a market if they can't get if they can't get a line of credit. They can't get a line of credit, so they can go make moves in whatever it is area that they specialize in. So for me, it's inevitable. I know a lot of people are afraid to talk about it. This price set thing, don't believe it can happen. I believe 100% that it can happen. Easily, it can happen. Because the world, trust me when I tell you this, Ripple and the digital asset that is XRP is going to be worldwide known. And the US is going to start pumping it big time in terms of recognition, in terms of putting it in the face of the average day consumer, customer, whatever you want to say. They're going to, mainstream media, they're just going to watch what I tell you. They're going to start watch what I tell you. Congress is already mentioning XRP in their little hearings. They're already mentioning it. And if you don't think that Tim Draper, this dude for years has never, he's an investor in the company, Ripple. He's invested, he participated in their series, whatever, funding. He participated in it. Never mentioned the company. Never. And now he's coming out talking about he expects XRP for this massive growth for XRP. Now he's saying something. It's time. He knows it. We know it. It's time. And you know, I just think 2020 is going to be an awesome, amazing year. Awesome and an amazing year. I hope you guys got your exit strategy set up, guys. Set it up now. Get it written down, so you're not freaking out when time comes. When the time comes, set it up now. We did ours. Got it on paper. So not only can we can see it, we can say, okay, yep, this is what we agreed. You know, and it's not a, in terms of, it's not a lot of our XRP, but it is places where we can, you know, do that exit at this point, do that exit at this other point, where we can kind of take some of the edge off from having held for so long, if you will, right? And so it's important, you know, it's important. And you know, it's a, you know, I get it. Some people will wait longer than others. I get that. It's just a matter of what you really believe this thing is going to be, and I think it's going to be massive. I know that it was designed to be a 10,000 XRP. Let me say designed again, and let me say it again, designed to be an XRP, so I don't get people in the comments commenting, oh, 10,000 is never, it could. I didn't say that. I said designed to be 10,000 per XRP. And someone in the Investment Perspectives Telegram chat mentioned this. And if you guys aren't part of that, if they happen to be open, because it is a closed group, if it happens to be open, make sure you get involved in that Investment Perspective Telegram chat group. It is a lot of knowledge in there, guys, a lot of wisdom. But someone said in there that one day, they'll be talking about XRP in terms of drops. They won't even be talking about it as per XRP. It'll be like a drops thing. And I can see that as well. But again, guys, when you hear things like these loans, this DeFi space, this decentralized finance space that they're talking about, and the fact that Spring is dedicated its staff in bringing in more people with it. Was it Algo or Algorithm? Algo, I forget which one it was called. With that, with them, those two acqui-hires that they did, Logos Network was one of them. The fact that they got Spring dedicated is, that single focus. I've always said there's something about a group of people coming together, working on a project with a common goal in mind, and you get that synergy that's created. And the fact that they're doing it in the DeFi space is huge in a gazillion ways. It's huge in a gazillion ways, right? So the XRP ledger and the ILP, right? So you've heard me say in this channel before, that decision to gift the ILP that Ripple created, the people from Ripple created, and their decision to gift that to the W3C. Now, every time I think about it, it's genius in motion. Because they made a decision that they were going to, they made a decision that they were going to give and not take. Huge. Absolutely huge. They made a decision. I don't even know if it was a market decision, but they made a decision that they were going to give and not take. And you got to think about how that comes back to you. Gifted that to the W3C. And so when you hear the internet of value that Ripple is creating, it's right. It's not value. It's the internet of value. So it is all things internet. That's what they're creating. And so all the payment systems, every kind of thing imaginable will be connected, interoperability, internet of value. It's all going to be connected. And the XRP ledger and or the ILP, both of those things with this API capability, being able to connect. It's going to be massive. And then just in the financial world alone, it is enough. But it's going to be anything of value is going to move through that ledger and through the ILP. It's the chosen one. It's the chosen one. And so, of course, like a lot of people are not getting this, the current financial system that we have. There's this, you got your billionaires, you got your millionaires, but that's kind of all we've been able to wrap our brains around, right? In the new digital asset space, in the new digital financial system, there will be trillionaires. It will be a new thing. Brad Cass says something. It's not a change, it's transformation, I believe is what he says. That is golden. That is golden. It's transformation. We're not going back to any other kind of way. This is a new thing. And so, the fact that, what's his name? Chris Larson could be a trillionaire, and people can't wrap their brains around it because they're thinking in fiat dollars. They don't get it. This is a new age. The digital asset space is a new thing. And it will be, if they're going to be, think about this, if they're going to be millionaires from the XRP community, what do you think is going to happen in the entire digital asset space? You see what I'm saying? When a 18-year-old or a 19-year-old can become a multi-millionaire just in the XRP community, what do you think is going to happen to bright genius minds like David Schwartz? What do you think is going to happen to people like Chris Larson and Brad Garlinghouse? I mean, come on. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. I hope that you guys, again, I always say imagine the possibilities. You got to think big. You got to change your think, as Grant Cardone likes to say. You got to think bigger. Because it's real. And we're blessed. We're in this space early. I always joke, I always laugh. Every time Brad Kimes talks about, having to have private keys and putting in your code and, these addresses starting with 1s and A's and B's and C's, I always laugh when he brings it up because he says that's not going to cut it. I laugh every time he brings it up because I think I get excited about a private key and, having to put in all these numbers. You know why? Because it tells me that we are early in the game. We're early in the game. What if you could just swipe everything and put everything was whatever, and the bank teller who don't even know XRP is being used in the background is just getting assets and paying stuff with a swipe of a card or putting a finger or eye up. What if we were at that point already? That means we missed the opportunity. You understand what I'm saying? When the masses know about it, it's gone. The opportunity is gone, right? You get that? When the masses know, the opportunity is over, right? So we're in the right spot at the right time, because the masses don't know. They have zero clue right now. And I know. We keep trying to tell our boys. We keep trying to put our family on, and they don't understand it, right? They like, what? Whenever I talk to my family, and I was like, yes, the first thing we gotta do is we gotta get on Coinbase, and we gotta, we gotta open up an account, and you gotta put your bank card on. What? I gotta put my bank card on the internet? What? I gotta what? I gotta verify who I am. I gotta show my license on the internet, right? I'm like, oh man, they weren't having it. They're like, I gotta show my license on the internet. I don't know, right? I don't know. It's not gonna be there for them, right? It's not going to be there for them. The opportunity, right? It's just not gonna be there for them. You know how I always quote my boy Arthur Schopenhauer, German philosopher. All great things, great opportunities go through three phases. Number one, it will be ridiculed. Number two, it will be opposed. In fact, he said it will be violently opposed. Have you guys been around in space since like 2016? Some of you guys been holding an XRP since 2016 and 2015? You want to talk about violently opposed? And then he went on to say, lastly, it will become self-evident. Kind of feels like that's where we are. We're right on the borderline of violently opposed rather, and self-evident. Right there. Tim Draper. We all know who Tim Draper is, right? Big time investor in the digital asset space. Big time. Smart guy. Back in the early days of Bitcoin, right? Said the word XRP. He didn't only just invest in a company, Ripple, when they were having their seed round funding. He just mentioned XRP. I can't wait for Novogratz. Guys, I cannot wait for Mike Novogratz, because that dude, he seems to be on this Ethereum thing. I can't wait, because he made a little sleight of hand comment when one of the people interviewing him on CNBC, I believe it was, said Ripple and XRP. And he was like, what do you mean? Well, you mean Ripple, right? Like XRP? Nah, not so much. Ripple, the company? Yeah, I can see that. I have some. I had a little bit of it. I can't wait for that to come. Got Jim Draper. Huge. Got Jim Draper. I know people like Jim Ricketts knows about XRP. That I know. And then Jim Ricketts, he still believes Bitcoin's going to like $300. That's an interesting thing. But he believes that. He believes it. He's on the inside of some kind of really crazy stuff. So I don't know. We shall see. I'm just glad I'm in the XRP. I'm glad I'm an XRP investor. I'm glad about that. So yeah, guys, exciting, absolutely exciting times to be an XRP hodler. Absolutely exciting times to be in the digital asset space. I'm telling you, we're early. Cardano, I don't know, what's it, 6 cents, 4 cents, 7 cents? Crazy. What's VeChain right now? Still under a penny? Crazy. Got the hollow chains, the possibility, For me though, I tell you, I get excited, mostly excited about VeChain and XRP. I get hugely excited about it. I really, really do. Because I just see real world use case. Every time I comment or retweet something on Twitter, which is not often, I always hashtag it real use case. Because it's huge. So guys, Swell's coming up. Get excited about that. The DC FinTech thing was massive. I saw a couple of, Brad Garlinghouse, speaking there, where he mentioned MoneyGram and the fact that they want him to ramp up his, liquidity corridors, ODL corridors. I think is massive. But never forget this, guys. In the end, I saw a tweet from who was it? Digital Nomad Investor. He believes, because apparently Metro Bank lost 2/3 of its investments from Fidelity. They pulled out. I guess they either pulled out or cashed out. But he says, the Digital Nomad Investor, and I'm paraphrasing, but he was saying all this bank crisis stuff is just, what he called it, pre-crisis propaganda. He says he believes that they already know, these banks already know, that they're going to be bailed out. That the IMF and their SDRs and ESDRs using XRP is going to come and save the banks. He believes the IMF is going to do that. I thought that was an interesting tweet. But in any case, this is what I say: the global economic crisis has zero patience and waits on no one. And we are in the midst of that crisis. And we all know that the crisis at hand, the number one factor, is illiquidity. And XRP is the liquidity solution. That is the bottom line. And the powers that be, whether it be Mark Carney or President Donald Trump or Christine Lagarde, they know it. Because if we know it, they know it. And it will be XRP to the rescue. In one aspect or many or multiple aspects, XRP will be the answer. That is without question. That is without question. And them opening up that office in DC again for me is, it's for me it's the Donald. It's for President Trump. It's for Mnuchin. It's for Powell or whoever, Clayton, to be able to say, look at the things that this company is doing. Look how look how for the last 5 years they've been compliant in regulatory compliant and doing everything that we've asked of them. And they're a part of this regulatory foundation here to make sure, and they're out in different governments helping the governments and working together with the governments, right? 50 governments. They're going to sing the praises of Brad Garlinghouse and Ripple. They're going to sing the praises of this on-demand liquidity and how they figured out a way to solve this liquidity problem. I'm telling you, I can hear it right now. I just don't know who is going to be first. Who's going to be the first one? I think it's going to be the Donald. I think it's going to be President Trump. As he said, he came here to solve the debt crisis for the U.S. I think it's going to be him. But in either case, look for that XRP thing. It's going to happen, guys. It's just a matter of time. So just be patient. Just be patient, guys. But listen, I'm going to wrap up here, guys. It's good to be back doing these videos. I hope to do some more in the next couple of days as well. They probably won't be on the road, but I will definitely get some out to you guys. Exciting times. Be excited about being an XRP hodler. Be excited about being early in the digital asset space. Continue to hold strong. Increase your resolve through these times, through these low prices, and just know what you hold, guys. Just know what you hold. But in any case, guys, never ever forget this: old money doesn't want you to win. They don't want us to win. They would rather us remain a cog in their perpetual wheel of trading our time for dollars. They don't want us to play in the same playground that they play in. But we allow our money to work for us. This is our chance, guys. The digital asset space is our chance to win. We are in the midst of the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. Are you participating? Or are you standing on the sidelines? Here's what I do know.